Welcome to my first look at the Atlantico. It is a Tier 7 premium Pan-American battleship. It is the first of the Pan-American ship line to enter the game, and we have the ship here in March of 2023. It only has armor-piercing shells, so that greatly reduces your options as far as HE or torpedoes or what have you. And the commander is kind of controversial. It is a universal commander. The battleship commander for the Pan Americans should be entering the game shortly, but for now we have the commander Pedro Lima Santos. So let's take a look at him. Base trait is multi-tool. Ship's secondary battery shell damage is improved, as is the torpedo damage, which doesn't come into play here. And the main gun shell and plane damage is improved, and that's all at 2.8%. And for inspirations, I have Andrew Cunningham, Concentrated Devastation, because you definitely want to improve your accuracy with this setup here. And I went with a quicker reload with Paulo de Revel. Time is of the essence, which improves battleship's main battery reload time. And then here for the skills, this was kind of interesting. We don't have torpedoes, we don't have HE, so the only option here is a no-fly zone, which improves your ship's average AA damage per second and your ship's AA gun firing range. Second skill is crisscross, which improves the traverse speed of the battleship, and I figured that was better than look at me now for detectability or torpedo detectability range. Yeah, gun traverse speed is kind of important here. And then here, since we don't have HE shells, we only have armor piercing, there's no sense to use second thought, and we don't have any torpedoes, so we went with Velocis to get a little quicker ship movement. So that's kind of well, that's a welcome sight actually under the circumstances. The last skill is Reaching Out XXL, which improves the main battery range, which is always welcome in a battleship in a standard match. And then for the legendary skill, we have Will to Rebuild. The amount of HP recovered is 47%, but the repair party duration gets a hit of 30% there. And as you would rank this commander up in legendary skill, that would go up to 73% and 110% HP recovered, so it would make a dramatic difference, but I don't really know if you would really invest the resources to rank this commander up that high, especially since there will be a battleship commander coming to the game shortly. In any event, the special effect will auto repair when the HP is equal to or less than 20%, and that is active when you are within 2 kilometers of an allied ship, and that goes up a little bit to 2.75 when you're legendary rank 3, and the max is 3.5 kilometers when you're legendary rank 4. So this is the best that I was able to do with this commander at this point. Alright, let's check out the upgrades for the Atlantico, and you definitely want accuracy here, so I went with Aiming Systems Mod 1, which improves the main battery dispersion and the secondary battery firing range and its dispersion. And then we went with Propulsion Mod 2 for the second upgrade. Time taken to reach full power is cut in half. And here, since it is a Tier 7, we have Concealment System Mod 1. Detectability range is improved by 10%, and the incoming fire dispersion is improved by an additional 5%, and this doubles up on your fully upgraded camo or skin. And here we went with the Secondary Battery Mod 3. Improves the secondary battery reload time by 20%, and the secondaries are kind of they're a little bit substantial on the Atlantico, as you're going to see in the stats screen. I didn't want to pick Main Battery Mod 3 because I didn't want to take a hit on the traverse time, especially since I have Revel already quickening the main battery reload time. So let's check out the loadout. Yeah, we only have armor-piercing shells, a little bit less decision making during gameplay. Consumables, damage control party, duration is 20 seconds, reloads every 80 seconds, and there is an unlimited number of those consumables. And the repair party consumable is next, which will partially restore the ship's HP by repairing any light damage at the rate of 441 hit points per second, and that would go up dramatically as you increase the legendary rank of the commander here. Duration is 19.6 seconds, reloads every 80 seconds, and there are 3 of those consumables. Then we have the enhanced secondary targeting consumable, which improves the secondary battery shell grouping and its dispersion. Duration is 30 seconds, reloads every 160 seconds, and there are 3 of those consumables. No boosters running, but that could change depending on the match. Ship comes with a Type 9 Premium Permanent Camouflage. Sea detectability and incoming fire dispersion is 4.5%, and I'm running the Atlântico flag here, came with the ship. And the stats: survivability hit points is 60,100. Armor is 19 to 356 millimeters with a 31% torpedo damage reduction right there. And next is the artillery. You have 10 guns. They kind of look like 15-inch guns. Firing range is 16.8 kilometers. Reload every 28.6 seconds. And the traverse time is 25 seconds. And those are quicker than the standard 30-second traverse time and reload time that you generally want to look for in a battleship. Armor-piercing shell damage has a maximum of 11,000. Secondary armament has a firing range of 7.9 kilometers, 4.8 second reload time on the 127s, with a maximum HE shell damage of 1850, 5% chance of setting fire. The 234s have a reload time of 10 seconds. Maximum shell damage is 3444 with a 21% chance of setting fire. So yeah, the 234s are a little bit more potent than the 127s. AA defenses. This looks like a lot of guns here, and you should clear the sky with the Atlântico. Only time will tell. Maneuverability, maximum speed is 26 knots. Turning circle radius is 800 meters with a 15-second rudder shift time. Concealment, detectability range by sea is 12.8 kilometers. Range by air is 10.8 kilometers. And while you're firing into smoke, it's 13.7 kilometers. And the armor. All right, this is a Tier 7 battleship. Looks like kind of standard armor. And whoa, you definitely don't want to do any bow tanking here. And even though you do have 34 to 75 millimeter armor on the side and 176 to 160 on top, bottom line is you really don't want to go broadside, and you want to mind your angles in a standard match. Overview: above average secondary battery firing range, and 7.9 kilometers is pretty good. Guns aplenty. A high number of guns allows for a lot of damage from a single salvo, and this reminds me of a Tier 7 Agincourt, actually, with a high number of guns. So a flare for piercing, equipped with armor piercing shells only. So then the Atlântico is a project of a battleship equipped with British-made 15-inch main guns and American dual-purpose AA artillery. Year of design is 1945, and there were no ships in the series. All right, well, that's it for the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out in a standard battle and check out some highlights. We're in Two Brothers, and it seems like I get this map quite often when I'm doing highlight videos. Here are the teams. There's just a couple destroyers per team, a couple of cruisers, and mostly battleships. So yeah, we'll keep a lookout for that. And here is this Albamarle over here behind this island, and right away I'm getting to check out the accuracy of the ship, and there you go, Citadel hit right off the bat. And yeah, I was really worried about the accuracy of this ship, but I actually find the accuracy to not really be a problem, so I can only wonder what's going to happen once the Pan Americans get a battleship commander. Will it be a brawler though, or will it be an accuracy commander? That is a great question Here is this Frederick der Grosser going broadside, and that's the thing that I really look for at the beginning of all the standard matches, is just wait around and see what battleships or even cruisers are going to go broadside. And that's essentially how I start out most of my matches. So here it looks like this Frederick der Grosser is really concentrating on my teammate, and he's not really paying much attention to me at all. I did put on the brakes, and I'm starting to back up because I don't really want to go out into the open right there and become a target for everybody on the red team who might be able to spot me. So here, I'm kind of amazed that this guy looks like he somehow I get the sense that he's going to be turning and exposing his other broadside to me. So there he goes. Right as I fire those main guns, he is turning. So this is kind of unbelievable. Obviously, I would like to take him out with this next salvo right here. He's got, I don't know, 15-20% of his health left. We ding him a little bit. Here, this is one final shot that's going to take this guy out. And there you go. No problem with the accuracy here early on in this match. Well, we're 6 minutes in, 28,000 damage, a destroyed ship, and uh-oh, look at this. We are down big time. So now I'm thinking, boy, this is not going to be my highlight video for the Atlântico. But as far as getting back to the commander, other inspirations you can have, my standard inspiration other than Cunningham on all of my battleships would be Juillard, to really increase the armor piercing penetration multiplier, and that's the one I would normally go with. And now I think I'm kind of in trouble here, because this Bismarck, I expect the secondaries are going to kick in within a couple kilometers here, and I'm just going to get chewed apart. But he is going more broadside than I am, it looks like. So yeah, the guns on the rear end need to swing around a little bit, and now I'm getting nailed from the right side of the ship there. We are on fire, and now I'm hoping the guns will swing around before I get to this island here, and you can see that the island indicator popped up right at the last minute. But it is not looking good for the blue team here. So now there's a Vanguard here, there's a Bismarck over to my left, and I think you're going to see at least one more ship pop up. Those torpedoes came from somewhere, so there is at least a third ship here against the two battleships on the blue team, including myself. This guy is pretty much broadside here, and there is a cruiser behind that island. I think that ends up being an Albamarle. And so now my strategy is actually to close up to this Azure Lane, New Jersey right here, and get some will to rebuild action going, and check that out and see if I could use that to my advantage. And here, check out the Bismarck beaching right here. And whoa, the thing comes way out of the water right as I fired those rounds, and I'm going to take some shots at the rear end of the ship as long as he's beached. The secondaries are starting to go on that Albamarle. And so we've got a lot of action here right all in this clustered area right over here on the, well, according to the mini-map, it's the right side of Two Brothers. And this looks like a great setup here for me on the Bismarck. Hopefully we could take that guy out. They do start us on fire. And we're going to look for will to rebuild to kind of build up a little bit here. And we do start out with like 45,000 hit points as we enter this battle right here. We're up to 70,000 damage, but we're going to stay with my teammate. And yeah, if they start nailing us with all this firepower, I'm hoping that will to rebuild will regenerate, and you get to see a little bit what will to rebuild is all about. And Now we are really down on ships. We have 3 ships on the blue team. There's 6 on the red team. So this should be an easy walk-away win for the red team is what I'm thinking at this point. But here, a couple of salvos right there, and we do take out the Vanguard. And that's looking a little bit better. We're up to 92,000 damage on that right there. And we're going to look to take out the Bismarck. And yeah, I'm on fire. My health is starting to tick down, and the only thing saving me, I really think, is will to rebuild. And at this point, I'm certainly not looking to get will to rebuild nerfed. I'm looking to use it as an advantage. Basically, what the skill is designed for. I think, you know, cooperative team play. And hey, they have 3 ships, we have 2, so they're overwhelming us with overwhelming numbers, so it should still be in their advantage. And I think this other ship is firing so fast that that is a destroyer. I believe it's a Fletcher, as we're going to see here in a few minutes. But will to rebuild is still holding up. And yeah, so now the New Jersey is going in front of me, and he is taking some of the brunt of the firepower there, some of the main shells. I believe that's from that Fletcher. And all right, so we are looking good, and I can't believe that we survived that ordeal. Up to 110,000 damage, and the ships are evened out, and we have taken the lead in the match. So this is unbelievable. This is a big time come from behind victory. My teammate takes out the Bismarck right there, and I congratulated him. That was a great play. Somebody needed to take him out. So now my plan is to steam up here, get within will to rebuild range again, and there is that destroyer. And the secondaries are starting to go off on him. Range of the secondaries, I think we're 7.9 kilometers, so he's just within secondary range. And he is getting really nailed big time between myself and the New Jersey, and unfortunately he went dark right there. So now I see my teammate is going to the right in front of the island. He'll probably make that island turn, and he'll be out of harm's way as far as torpedoes go. But now I'm put on the brakes because I feel like I am in a really bad situation. My initial instinct was to run in there and capture that flag, but I really think if I do that with only 20,000 damage, that Fletcher is going to obliterate me, and the match will be over, and we could definitely lose risking the match. So as I'm trying to decide what to do, I'm sort of figuring that I'm going to power up to full speed and make a big time left-hand turn and try to maneuver away from any incoming torpedoes that I feel are definitely on the way. There's no way that this destroyer commander is not going to fire the torpedoes at me. I'm just hoping that I am going to be fast enough and maneuverable enough to turn around and get out of harm's way before the torpedoes come in. And I do believe that there is still a cruiser somewhere on this side of the map. I think that cruiser that was behind the island, there he is. That's the Albamarle that I hit early on. And wow, he is really closed up behind this island right here. And his big play is to stay silent with the guns and to fire some torpedoes at me. But I'm not really sure if he has fired the torpedoes in here. I'm going to beach myself barely. I really, well, I didn't have enough turning circle radius to be able to make that turn. So now I'm backing up. Ship is definitely pretty maneuverable here, and next thing you know, the torpedoes are coming in, and I believe those are torpedoes from that Fletcher, and if I wouldn't have backed up, that torpedo would have definitely gotten me. So sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and I was definitely lucky right there on that one. And main guns are traversing so slowly that I have no shot on the Albamarle, but we have only 1 minute left. We are definitely ahead in the match, and you'd think the safe play would be to just stay right here and let everything time out, but I want to make the highlight video even better than it already is. So I'm going to try to come around the island here and take out the Albamarle in a single salvo. I think he had almost half of his health left. So this is kind of risky because, you know, the Albamarle does have torpedoes. I believe I'm within the torpedo range of that Albamarle. So maybe a suicide maneuver. There he is. He's 3 kilometers away. One single salvo does him in on 2 Citadel hits. But here come the torpedoes with only 11 seconds left. So we are going to win this match big time right here. And okay, that finishes it. And the match is over with. All right, yeah, don't do that at home. That was a big time victory, come from behind victory in one of my first matches in the Atlantico. It's a pretty good first look. 500,000 silver credits. Look at that. That is your tier 7 economy coming into play there. 128,000 battle performance total damage on 53 main gun hits and 50 secondary hits. We got 3 destroyed ships, several fires. We get 3 Citadel hits. And all right, that is a pretty good match right there. Let's see how we did on the team result. All right, second place overall in the match. Good game on the Azure Lane, New Jersey player there in first place with all those medals. Let's see how we did on the economy tab. And yeah, really appreciated the cooperation on the will to rebuild situation. That was a good demonstration, I think, of what will to rebuild can do in a desperate situation. And look at the Republic with 4 destroyed ships himself. So he was looking for the Kraken. Whoa, so by the time it was all said and done, we cleared 395,000 silver credits. And yeah, that is your tier 7 economy for premium ships coming into play there. And there you go. That's it for my first look in the Atlantico. All in all, I think it's a pretty decent ship. For me, it was definitely fun to play. The 10 guns really do have a lot of firepower. The accuracy seemed pretty good from what I could tell, and you could only imagine what you would get if you get a battleship commander involved. And yeah, so there you go. Hopefully you get to see a little bit about what the ship is all about. So let me know what you think down below. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.
Our victory is in sight. Enemy battleship foundered.